Well, it is Friday night. I'm happy to be here with you all. We're going to make character number 5, our monstrous character number 5. Then, after our break, we're going to go through and create kind of a relationship map. And look at the connections that they have. Draw. We're going to use MS Paint for this. And draw some lines and conclusions alike. Once we see how they interact with each other on an individual basis, we get an idea for the party, and we can really take a good look at the monsters that we have made. Hey, Redcap, thank you so much. And cheers to you. Thank you. No, 12 for 10, you should actually be hearing a train in the background. Unless you're hearing another train, in which case then not only is there the sound of a train, but you are losing your sanity. Redcap, I finished the MSQ earlier today. Oh. Oop. And one of the giants tried to escape. So we have to rein it back in. There we go. Oh, enjoy it. I mean, Redcap, don't feel like you have to rush it. It'll always be there. And with Final Fantasy XIV, there's a lot of effort put into making a really compelling and coherent storyline, despite it being an MMORPG. And so make sure that you're taking your time. Do the side quests in the different regions. Talk to the NPCs, because it's going to build an entire world around you. And all of the events, if you're paying attention to what's happening in Heavensward, you better believe that those events are going to carry over into Stormblood. And you better believe that the events of Stormblood are going to carry over into Shadowbringers. The Lost Streaming Company, good to see you again. I have been well. I have come off of a 2-week broadcast hiatus, or a vacation of sorts. And we are near the twilight, near the end of our first week back. We've been making some monstrous PCs using our random character generator, and with the help of a very imaginative community. We've had some awesome discussions about monsters and culture and biology and all of these other... Look, if you play D&D long enough, you can earn associate's degrees in so many different disciplines. No, Silver, if you're taking a break, then that's fine. Leave your work where you need it to be, and rest and relax here. I've noticed that I'm a WoW vet, so the attention to story building just blows my mind. And, it's unfortunate, because I have heard that from a lot of friends who have played World of Warcraft, where the story is not really coherent or cohesive. The story is mostly recycled, or it's an excuse to just have another mechanics-heavy fight. And so the emphasis is on, are you optimized to deal 11 billion DPS as a healer? Because, if you're, that's the minimum expectation as a healer, is that you are also a DPS. I hate using a rate as a noun, but, a damage dealer, a DD. And so I have heard when people made the switch to 14 that they were... some of them were just in the habit, like, storyline doesn't matter. I never appreciated it in WoW, so I just click through it. And I look at them and I'm like, what are you doing? Go back. At least watch the cutscenes or something. You were missing some good stuff. Yeah, but it's just storyline. Not that there's bad mechanics in 14, but are you playing 14 to push buttons? Why? You can push buttons in WoW. WoW is going to be a much better button clicker than 14 will. Though, of course, I say this coming off of Final Fantasy 11. And so when WoW came out, I mean, I played it a little bit. I gave it a little bit of a chance. A friend of mine had like a level 1 character, and I got to roll around with that character for a little bit. I'm like, this... What am I doing? I don't feel like I'm a part of the world necessarily. Anyway. I'm not here to have edition wars or MMORPG wars. I have nothing against people who play either of those video games or both. But such is how conversations go. You're out of the city for work for a while? Well, hey, man, lost streaming, work, pay those bills, do what you got to do. We're here. We'll always be around. And if you got to take care of business, personal or friends or family, or you just need a break, take it. Take care of yourself. And when you want to come back and visit us, you'll find us. Redcap says, I love it so much, it's made you cry. Oh, Redcap, we should have a conversation, but I don't want to talk about spoilers. Yes, even for Heavensward. Because I would love to know the moments that you have found powerful and or poignant in some other fashion. Old Port, we're going to make one more monstrous character, and then for the last part of our workshop tonight, we're going to make a character map. 12 for 10 is talking about Ultima Online. Hey, O'Sheeps, welcome. Silver Pirate says, the saddest thing is that I have made 26 name NPCs and more to work, some world building, some more NPCs. So you're trying to design, I mean, you say world building, but are you trying to design and populate a town, or what's the ultimate goal for this exercise, Pirate? I walk in and I'm already concerned it might be Hildebrandt. Yeah, please do, Redcap. I would love to talk. I'd love to talk lore and storyline with you. And I promise I won't spoil anything for you, because especially for the storyline in 14, that would tear my own heart out if I spoiled something for someone. Should make a fish person if we have not yet. There is a Triton that we could possibly roll into. I'm probably not going to stay as long as I've had a fever today, but I want to stop by and say hi. Oh, Sheeps, take care of yourself and ring that cowbell even more. If you got a fever, there's only one cure for it. But thank you for at least popping in. But if you got to take some medicine or lay down or do whatever a sick sheep does, then go about it and take care of yourself. City building and character to NPC interactions. Ah, so you're making a very detailed folio for this city. And DJ Chocolat is here. Triton is a race. All right, well, why don't we go about it? We have our source books handy, though we need to open up our dice roller and start generating, right? Do you all have your books? I hope so. Class is in session. Do you have your player's handbook? Do you have your Volo's guide? If not, it's fine. Just look at the screen and we'll get through it together. Hey, Zero, welcome. And Shukan is here as well. Cheers, yes indeed. All right, do we have a female character, a male character? Oh.
Gute Startbildung einer der Mini-Horde. Going in for a random box. The access is yours.
Oh, hey, thank you. Well, that's going to go into the Oh Crud fund, quote unquote, for TwitchCon here. And so I am going to I'm going to add that there. Thank you very much for that consideration. And this is what you have on hand in case something goes wrong. And if nothing goes wrong, then it's something that I can use because there might be vendors or something there at TwitchCon, and maybe I could find a good deal on some equipment or some good or service that can help improve the community here. And I'll be investing in that. Oh, Zero, that's really nice of you to say to Shukan for prompting the Ravnica improvisation story. Well, it can seem daunting, Silver, but when you have that opportunity and you make the world come alive for the players, I'm sure they'll really appreciate it. All right, we rolled a 40, so we have another female character. We have 4 female characters and 1 male character. Then we're going to roll for the race.
Ravenezia. Pass 5 auf it on.
Ravnica and pass 5 of it on. Ah, okay. So Shukan, you want to make the next adoption. If someone wants to adopt a box, to take $5 off that price. Do I have that correct? So you want the 18 for the box, 2 to the convention, and $5 to go to pay it forward for someone else. That's very generous of you, Shukan. Well then, for all of you out there, Shukan is paying it forward. And if any of you wanted a box of Ravnica, it would only be 13 instead of 18 because of the 5. Or if you wanted one of the large boxes, the Storm King's Thunder or the Monster Menagerie 3, it would be 17 instead of 22 for one box. Rastus, welcome back. So what I will do here, for Redcap and Shukan here, Redcap, it'll have to be a Ravnica for you tonight because that's the only normal sized box that I have to fit in the 18 budget that you had. So I will bust these boxes open as soon as we finish up this character, if you have a little bit of time here tonight. Is that okay? Or do you have to go soon and you want to see what's in the box? Works for you? Yes, Zero. My remaining Mad Mage boxes were bought up, so unless I can find more from a distributor, what I have right now is Monster Menagerie 3. I only have 2 boxes of Storm King's Thunder remaining, and then I have 4 boxes of Ravnica left. However, 2 of those are now spoken for, meaning that I have 2 available Ravnica boxes left. We finished her up, Rastus. We didn't add spells, but we finished the core of her. I am getting a little low. Now, I do have a couple boxes of Tomb of Annihilation at the store, so I can always cannibalize those off the wall if you really wanted them, but I don't have them here tonight. All right, so let's make a 13-sided die and roll for our race. We rolled an 11. So unfortunately, a 12 would have been a Triton, as Osakachi was asking for an aquatic person, and arguably lizard folk can because they have a swim speed. However, we are making a Tabaxi, so we have a cat person. Rastus, yes. Yes. Redcap, you have. Did you try posting in our looking for group thread on our Discord? So we have a female Tabaxi that's lawful good. A lawful good female Tabaxi. We're going to generate her at level 12. And now let's roll and find out, are we going to replace any of the stat bumps with feats? 91, yes. So, well, in this case it says 4, but all 3 of her stat bumps will be taken as feats instead. So let's start filling in her character sheet. So we have a female Tabaxi, and are medium-sized. Lawful good. And down here, feats. 1, 2, 3. She's going to be level 12. And now let's figure out what her background is. There are 66. Now this says 62, but that doesn't have Ghost of Saltmarsh. So I'm going to roll a 66-sided die, and let's find out. Let's find out if she is a soldier. Is she a folk hero? Is she a courtier? Courtier? Roll the dice, we'll figure that for us. You ready? I really dig backgrounds. And I know a lot of people prefer classes, but this is where we get a lot of, you know, a lot of the core of the character. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wow! Of the 66 backgrounds, we have we have 3 that are drawn from the Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica. And so she is going to be an Azorius Functionary. Now, this isn't necessarily a Ravnica campaign, so we're going to look into the background and translate it into what would a group or a family or some other organization have that could be an equivalent. Gotta go do some chores. All right, Rastus, we'll see you around. You didn't know that we had a Discord? You tried Reddit? I suppose... is it popular to have a Reddit page? I'm very hardly on Reddit. So I don't know its significance. Other than it's a discussion board. Sentinel? I don't know, Shukan. We haven't really discovered much about the character yet to determine that. I've also been working on skills, ideas for a campaign that's not D&D related. Going into a D100 system, hopefully. If you ever need feedback, Silver, you know that we have the RP discussion channel. Shukan, he said in before Urchin. Oh, there's a Reddit. Okay, I thought you were talking about you're searching for like a subreddit or something for this channel. I'm like, wow, I don't know. That might be an interesting honor, but I don't think if it's made, it hasn't been made by me. All right, let's open up the classes and get ready to hit this big old golden D12. 6. She's a monk. Which kind of monk? Well, we have 8, although technically it's only 7 because Sun Soul appears in 2 different supplements. So I'm going to make a D7 and roll it to figure out which kind of monk she is. We rolled a 3. 1, 2, 3. A long death monk, which, if I recall correctly, is out of the Sword Coast Adventures Guide. Hey, McGruber, welcome. Monk. Oh, pardon me. Way of the Long Death. There's no class features that are in the player's handbook for monks that we need to worry about here. right? Druid, Fighter, Paladin, Ranger, and Warlock. So now we need to find Tabaxi, and we're going to load up our Tabaxi bio calculator here. And roll a percentile to find out how old she is. We rolled a 26, so she is a young adult Tabaxi, and in with their biology, this phase of their life, a young adult, which could be, you know, mid-teens to early 20s for human equivalency, is kind of the same here, though it looks like they age a lot more, a little bit more quickly. So 11 plus 1d6 years. Okay, so she is 15 as a young adult. Now, remember, that's biologically. In whatever culture we come up with, maybe 15, you know, maybe Tabaxi have quinceañeras. You know, and that is, you know, that could be a cultural adulthood or a legal adulthood. Or it's a recognition that, you know, one more year left or something like that. Well, let's fill in this info here. That she is a young adult at 15. And now, the height and weight. Tabaxi base height is 4'10". And, you know, here, make a decision. If you have a younger character, maybe instead of the height modifier being 2d10, it's 1d10. Or it's 2d6. You know, have fun with it. As we have someone who's been very physically active, being a monk, you know, I think we could give her, let's give her 2d8 instead of maybe the full adult range here. So we're adding 11 inches. So she is 4 feet 21 inches tall. And now we're going to multiply that 11 by 2d4 and add that to a base weight of 90. Instead of 2d4, if we didn't want to, maybe we make it only 1d4 if she, you know, if she is smaller in stature. I think we rolled a still, even with the 2d8, we rolled pretty well. Let's just roll the 2d4 because maybe this is muscle. You know, she's got a lot of lean muscle on her. 6. So we're adding 66 pounds. So she is 156 pounds. Standing at 5'9". Not a shadow monk, but it is a long death monk. So if you want something that's a little bit, you know, a little darker, just not in a literal sense of shadows. All right. So for the most part, we have an outline of the character. We've started to go into the character creation process, and we're pulling her outline from the ether, and it's up to us now to fill in that outline, to paint her personality, to, you know, give her this 3D realization of hopes and dreams and her flaws and any other details that come up, to develop the culture that would produce someone like this as well. Yeah, Pirate, you're welcome to do so. All right, let's open up. Dun, 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 dun. Before we look at Tabaxi, we need to glance at the Long Death Monk that is in the Sword Coast's Adventurer's Guide. Unless I'm mistaken. That is Sun Soul and Way of the Long Death. Yes, I was correctamundo here. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. That's class. We're starting with background, and that is out of that's out of the Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica. And I want to start with the background first, because that is going to be what will give us an idea of who she is, because this is her job. This was her training or a hobby or the result of... she may no longer be a part of it, but it left an indelible mark upon her. And so we rolled an Azorius Functionary. All right, we're going to get Insight and Intimidation. We're going to get 2 languages of our choice. So Tabaxi, I think, only speak Common, unless there's a special Tabaxi language. But until we hear otherwise, I'm going to leave a placeholder indicating that she can speak 2 other languages. We're going to get an Azorius Insignia, or the equivalent in this monstrous culture that produces this character. A scroll containing the text of a law important to you, a bottle of blue ink, a pen, a set of fine clothes, and a belt pouch containing 10 gapuz. An Azorius Insignia, a scroll with favorite law, blue ink bottle, pen, fine clothes, and a belt pouch with 10 gold in it. Our background feature is legal authority. You have the authority to enforce the laws of Ravnica, and that status inspires a certain amount of respect and even fear in the populace. People mind their manners in your presence and avoid drawing your attention, as they assume you have the right to be wherever you are. Showing your Azorius Insignia gets you an audience with anyone you want to talk to, though it might cause more problems than it solves when you're dealing with incorrigible lawbreakers. If you abuse this privilege, though, you can get in serious trouble with your superiors and even be stripped of your position. So we have this legal authority that we're carrying. We are a law enforcer. Oh, Tabaxi get Common and one other their choice. So she'll have 3 batches of question marks then. In Ravnica, the guilds get an expanded spell list that they can offer to anyone who joins them. You know, so druids don't normally get friends as a cantrip, I believe. But if you're an Azorius druid, you would. I'm not worried about expanded spell slots. I mean, we have a monk, but still. I'm not going to worry about this. And I'm also not going to worry about the ranking system that you find in here. They're awesome. They're great to build a character, but that's really... I mean, you could homebrew it. There's nothing wrong with that, though they're certainly developed to get you hooked into the Ravnica setting and really puts you in the middle of Ravnica. What we will do, though, are the traditional 2 personality traits, an ideal, a bond, and a flaw. So let's come down here, and we're going to roll 2d8 and then 3d6. Two, 7, 1, 1, 4. 2, 7, 1, 1, 4. Something that we can make drawing on the background information that's not necessarily Ravnica exclusive, but it helps to build a character in general. We have a guild ally, a guild rival, or again, whatever the equivalent of the guild of the Azorius Guild we're going to make, and a non-guild contact that you are encouraged to roll for when you build characters with these backgrounds. And so we're going to roll 2d8 and 1d10. 2, 7, 3. 2, 7, 3. Hey, GM Vault, welcome. Hola, nerds. Hello, other nerd. Well, I'm glad we're all on the same page here, at least. All right, let's go now to our book of Ravnican lore and backgrounds and mechanics and decipher what do these numbers mean. Who is our character? Her personality traits, I'm going to scoot this over a little bit to make it easier to type and for you to read. I hope that you all can read the PDFs as they appear on the screen. If you're on mobile, it's probably a little difficult, but I hope for however you see it on your screen at home, that a lot of the work that we do on the worksheets is visible and you can follow along, or you can read the supplement on its side. And if not, even barring that, I hope that my description of what we're doing and the conversation is able to convey what the sights of the words cannot. Yep, we'll get there, Shukan. We're going to fill in the racial stuff after her background. All right, what is her personality like? Her first personality trait is, I have infinite patience with the dolts and bores I'm forced to deal with every day. Very patient. However, with the way that's worded, it does seem like she feels that she's in a position of superiority. And maybe so. I mean, here we have this young adult Tabaxi, who in her own way is perhaps a bit of a prodigy, or has been awarded this honor, or maybe is like an undercover agent of some kind, and is able to use her apparent youth to infiltrate, dens of crime, or, it's kind of like if the when the police or liquor agencies will send an underage agent into a store to try and buy alcohol or something like that. That could very well be her role. But let's continue to investigate. And number 7, I'm very literal. She's literally literal. I'm very literal and don't appreciate metaphor or sarcasm. So she plays the deadpan character. And this is going to be very interesting when you juxtapose this with the chaotic evil Yuan-Ti Rakdos cultist background that we created last night. No, that's fine, Shukan. We'll get to it. We'll get to it. And Silver Pirate, I'll take a look at what you're typing. I keep typing, and I'll take a look at it when I can. But I want to keep some of these character creation aspects going, because these monster characters take a little bit longer to create than the standard player handbook character that we've been making traditionally. Her ideal is number 1, her guild. My guild is all that really matters. She is the law. Her bond is number 1 also. I am beholden to an Azorius arrester who captured the criminal who killed my parents. Uh-oh. Who called urchin earlier? Who called that she was an urchin? I am beholden to an Azorius arrester who captured the criminal who killed my parents, saving me from the same fate. So, Shukan, you called it? All right, so yeah, in a roundabout way, we do have an urchin, although those life events that orphaned her, or again, we could step sideways from the concept and find something else that would be fitting. it seems like she entered the world of law as a lawyer or really a functionary. You're kind of an adjudicator, a policeman that is also a judge in some ways. But she entered this because of a past tragedy that inspired it. And you know what? She's only 15. So this must have happened when she was young. And maybe she was put into an orphanage that was to raise, the whole point was to raise orphans properly to benefit society so that they wouldn't be a detriment. So it was sort of like an Azorius orphanage that would teach them the law and teach them discipline so that, their parents may have been criminals or their parents may have been lost in a criminal action. They themselves will go on to make a better world and not fall victim to that which claimed their parents. And her flaw, because we are all flawed creatures, my friends, is number 4. I was, here we go, traumatized by witnessing a crime as a child. Now, this can be the same crime. It could be what killed her parents. Or this could be, not only did we plunge the dagger in her back and make her an orphan, did she witness some other kind of crime? Did she witness not only the murder, and she thought that there were people there to help her? And she believed that because she has the friend in the organization, but maybe she saw that person's supervisor or a coworker commit a crime. Maybe by stealing from the scene and pocketing, what was taken for evidence actually just ended up inside the person's pocket. And so, this theft of her mom's gold watch or something like that left an extra kind of stain on her personality. And so not only does she want to uphold the law and live by it because she doesn't want other people to succumb to that fate, but what if this person, this event also leaves an effect, right? If she was traumatized by the crime, over the course of an adventure, if this is a flaw for a character, then this would give her a moment to pause. If she sees someone ever looking at a gold watch, it doesn't even have to be in a criminal sense. Someone looking at a gold watch, she just sort of stops and some tears come to her eyes. Or, whatever else, in whatever path you want to go down with this. And, if we're talking crime or even if we're bringing, violence, let alone anything that could be delving into the realms of abuse or physical, mental, emotional, sexual abuse, if we're talking about this stuff as a side statement, always make sure that everyone at your table is comfortable with whatever you're presenting. You may very well have everyone at your table absolutely love running a Friday the 13th style Splatterfest D&D game. And there's nothing wrong with that at all, as long as everyone there is fine with it. But if you get someone who's really squeamish about violence or gore or getting into, dark revelry and pursuits with, these taboo elements, then that's no bueno. All right. She does have an ally, and this may be someone who is that arrestor or this someone different. But her ally in this guild is, let's see, we rolled number 2. One of my childhood friends is now a precognitive mage in service of the guild. So maybe another one of these orphans, if we want to bring this up, was raised by this organization and serves it, but in a different capacity. And so this friend could very well offer some advice, especially as a precog. Now, she has a rival in this organization as well, which is number 7. I know a homunculus in the halls of New Prov, or the equivalent we can manufacture, who can get things done behind the scenes. And lastly, her non-guild contact is number 3. I have a friendship with a Demir agent who sometimes funnels me secrets about Azorius activities. Oh, what we were talking about earlier may actually have been the case. Not only was she saved by the organization, but someone in that organization betrayed her trust. And so she's using this contact outside of it in order to get the goods and to follow this person around, who might also be, you know, breaking the trust of other people. I would have to double check what the role of a precognitive mage is mechanically in Ravnica. It sounds similar, right? They try and look into the future. I don't know if it's necessarily like a pre-crime, you know, where you can accurately time up the arrival and, you know, stop the crime as it was happening because that, you know, there was enough proof that it was. Or if they're just you know, a rename for a divination class that can scry on people or, you know, help gather information. So Silver Pirate, I see you've been posting about this system you're trying to come up with and develop. Put into better details. You'll put on the Discord channel. Okay, then that would afford, at least if you want an opinion from me, that'll afford me more time at a later point to go through and read it and think about it. Excellent. Well, we have started building, and you know, I almost feel bad here. She's so young, and she's already been through so much in life. Though this has made her very determined. And you know what? I almost wonder with this Way of the Long Death if maybe this Demir agent hasn't been teaching her a couple tricks. All right, now we're gonna go over and explore. Explore the Tabaxi. There's a lot of good information in here for running a character that has these this sort of baked in culture and set of expectations for them. Volo's Guide to Monsters is very good for this, and I would recommend you all pick it up. As a part of creating this character, why don't we give her a Tabaxi obsession and a Tabaxi quirk? I'm rolling 1d8 and 1d10. 3 and 9. Her obsession is a lost civilization. And her quirk, you are a font of random trivia from the lore and stories you have discovered. Now, if she's going on the road of being this this judge or enforcer, this kind of super cop, instead of random trivia, this could very well be she just retains legal knowledge and can spout it out. Hey, DJ, thank you so much for the re-up. Oh, snap, it's Daly. Daly's here and is gifting. Oh, and this is... because this is the week before, by the way, everyone. This is the week before the Wednesday. So this coming Wednesday is going to be July's miniature raffle. And the number of you that subscribe to the channel will increase the number of boxes I give away on that Wednesday. For your birthday, you're giving gifts? Oh, Daly, that's awesome of you. Hey, by the way, Daly, we did pop open those 2 boxes, and if you're going to hang around a little bit, I'll show you what was inside them. Yep, I just saw that, DJ. That's Daly, that was very kind of you. And hey, for all of you who have there you go, enjoy. Especially when we get to crack open the minis, you now have a fun emote for that. Shukan, there are 2 Ravnica that are unclaimed. One goes to Redcap, and one goes to you. I'll be around, just had to go to bed and was falling asleep and had to work in the morning. Oh, okay. All right. Duskfay, hey. By the way, everyone, Shukan did pay things forward. So for the next person who wants to adopt a box of minis, the next box is $5 off because Shukan is covering $5 of the cost. So $13 or 1,300 bits will get you a full pull of Ravnica, as I have 2 unclaimed boxes of that left. Or $17 or 1,700 bits will get you a full pull of Storm King's Thunder. I only have 2 of those left. Or Monster Menagerie 3, and I have a good amount of those left. Hey, Shukan has given Daly a birthday gift. So, Daly, you're going to get the last Ravnica box. So, we're going to go Redcap, Shukan, Daly. You know, your all's kindness and generosity, your compassion for each other, your amount of inspiration and communication is awe-inspiring. And I sincerely hope that you all understand that I don't just say that as a reflex by being a streamer and, you know, there's a mercantile transaction going on. This is from the bottom of my heart. You all are genuine people. You know, you work, right? You go into an office. You work at a grocery store. You work underneath an automobile. You're going to school. You got bills to pay. You have pets or kids, or you have all of this going on in your life. And yet, even for a moment, you take the time to stop by here and say hi. For those of you who can, you share that hard-earned money by giving the gift of a subscription, which is very humbling to me. That you all believe in this community and channel enough that you want to have that channel be outstretched to others, to welcome them in. And I'm just very grateful to be able to meet you all as I have. And well, happy birthday, Daly, and thank you very much, Shukan. Silver Pirate, you can put it in the RPG workshop. Hey, Nelshir is here. And GM Vault, thank you for re-upping. Tabaxi's dexterity score increases by 2 and charisma by 1. Our base walking speed is 30 feet. 15 climb, 15 swim, 0 fly. We do have dark vision out to 60 feet. We have feline agility. Your reflexes and agility allow you to move with a burst of speed. When you move on your turn in combat, you can double your speed until the end of the turn. Once you use this trait, you can't use it again until you move 0 feet on one of your turns. We get Cat's Claws. Because of your claws, you have a climbing speed. Oh, so 20 feet, actually. We have a climbing speed of 20 feet. In addition, your claws are natural weapons, which you can use to make unarmed strikes. If you hit with them, you deal slashing damage equal to 1d4 plus your strength modifier, instead of the bludgeoning damage normal for an unarmed strike. Now, as we're making a monk, monks are going to get this anyway, so I guess what you could rule as a DM if a character says, I want to make a Tabaxi monk, is say, oh, sure. I'll let you use your claws and with your martial arts, and you can deal slashing damage instead of bludgeoning. Is it a big difference? Maybe. In some select way. You could always keep it as a separate weapon line because it does technically deal strength damage with Cat's Claws, but we're making a hand-to-hand fighter or a kicker. So here's kind of a gray area. Work it out as a PC and DM, and I'm sure you can find something that is... I mean, nothing about any of these are broken, in my opinion, with everything you're trying to make for this character. And all it would really do is add slashing as a weapon if you wanted to extend your claws when you... I do not, Nelshir. I try and mix it up all the time so that I don't fall into a regular... sort of a regular pattern. Daly says, thank you. You are the linchpin that has brought us all together, and you're pretty darn special yourself. Well, thank you, Daly. My own birthday is going to be around the time of TwitchCon, and in its own way, I mean, not that I talked it up or I didn't want to seem like I was milking it, because I was already asking you all for your support to help get me out to San Diego. But even if I never brought it up, then this would be taken as kind of an unspoken, well, we're speaking about it now, but an unspoken birthday gift, since I was going to be doing this traveling and being able to almost be a representative of all of you to TwitchCon, and to enjoy it and to learn and bring back information so that I can be better and thereby all of us can be better. Because even if you don't broadcast, maybe I can bring you back contacts or knowledge that you can pass on to someone you know that does stream. And everyone is getting better and everyone is succeeding. Well, DJ, I'm so happy that we have that here.
One last thing for the night. Here is $1 for every year I have been alive, Matty. It is your choice where this goes. Free pulse or TwitchCon. It's yours to distribute how you see fit.
Oh my goodness. Daily, that is very... Why are you being the generous one on your birthday? Come on, we gotta spoil you somehow, Daily. All right, well then, what I will do is this. Daily, I will put that... If we do... All right. So Shukan with your 5 and Daly's 43. I will put that into the raffle for Wednesday to buy bonus boxes to hand out to people who show up to enter the raffle. And that way, everyone who's participating is going to get something from it. And so your all's generosity and your community sense, I want to reward by continuing to foster it and by paying it forward. And so we will put that amount of money into this coming Wednesday's miniature raffle. Yep, there will be bonus boxes. So we have pre-bonus boxes already. In fact, I am going to make a quick note of this. That seems to be an equitable solution to you all. All right, so we have Cat's Claws, Cat's Talent. We have proficiency in the perception and stealth skills. Languages, we can read and write common in one other language. So just as Shukan was saying, we have common in 3 other languages that we can give to her. You all are something else, and you're amazing. Daily, I don't know if you have any. Oh, listen, I'm spoiled every day. I like to take my day to give back. You donated to 500 St. Jude. Oh, yep. Daily, you buy your wife some flowers and jewelry. Kiddo's got some toys because without all I have in my life, you would not be able to celebrate how special I feel my life is. That is, Daily, you, that type of spirit, and for all of you out there, the donation of money and the buying of things certainly helps and can accent. But this spirit of appreciating life and the people that you have in it, you know, because we all may feel alone, or many of us might feel that we're falling short by interacting with people that we love. And I know I've been guilty of that. We're human beings. Though the display tonight, I hope, acts to recharge our batteries, that we do believe in each other, and that we are good people, and that we care about things that are outside of us. And in fact, I think I have around here a little music box that does a happy birthday song. Let me see here. It's going to be one of these two. All right. All right, so let me. So here we go. I'm gonna pull the microphone down, and I'm gonna give you a little bit of some fun ASMR from a little music box that I have here. So I'm gonna mute the background music, and so Daily, this is going out to you, brother. And many more. Whoop. Well, there goes my microphone stand. Oh, I lost the knob that keeps it pinched into the so there's the crane that goes down into the hole that has the clamp, and I don't have the knob that keeps the swivelly bit. I know I'm using technical terms, everyone. I hope you're keeping up. There we go. Well, I hope you enjoyed that little bit of, I don't know if that would technically count as ASMR. But, yeah, well, there's parts of my rig here, the computer and the way that the cameras are kind of confuzzled, and just some other things that It's one of those things that's on the horizon. They're parts that I'd like to address. I want to build a rig to take down to the store so you all can see the store and interact with it. You can watch people play Magic or D&D. Maybe you can even watch people do like you can watch how we trade cards. And so it's sort of like the live feed to the store where it's as if you're hanging out in a game store, and and that you're welcome and that you can see what happens and enjoy the fun of the tournaments and the events and all of that. Yep, Nell Shear. But like all things, and I'm saying it's not about money. Unfortunately, in this case, it is about the money. Because to get a rig set up for that, for broadcasting and the microphones and all that, it is what it is. But hey, it's something to work towards. And when you all sponsor boxes of minis here, or just by being a part of the community through a subscription, through a follow, through just chat activity, if you've done neither of those other things, then every little part helps. It's all progress and it's all growth. Next fundraiser after TwitchCon's a new rig. Should it be for a new rig? Because I was talking about Daily. There's a lot of folks out there in the community that live all around, whether it's Canada or especially there's a good group that lives down in Australia. There's the Gathering of Nerds, but there's others as well. The Salty Dragon Tavern, Dead Aussie Gamer, and others. And it would be very interesting if I could almost do a travel log, where I would visit. I would have the ability to travel to you, to visit your hometown, to go to your local game store, to go hit up awesome natural areas, or the really cool old graveyard, or to hear the tales, to walk on a nature trail, and to sit down and maybe even just play a game of D&D with you in person, to go out and do that. And so, after TwitchCon, I would be looking for some kind of goal to achieve next. And I'm just not sure what that would end up being or what the logical course would be. Yeah, and I'll say this too, Daily, because I hate talking about this like I'm selfish, or that I have a bunch of first world problems. I will happily take this rig to the store and use this one exclusively at the store. And if I got a better one here at the house, then not only could I present a crisper experience when I just broadcast the PDFs and such to you, but if I do extra content, like I do, we could stream RPGs together. Then not only could I run the game, but I could stream, because right now the computer says you could do one. What do you want to play? Do you want to play a crisp game, or do you want to stream? Yes, Rycon, we did roll up a Tabaxi. Australia has bugs bigger than your head, and those are just the babies. Hungry, hungry babies, says GM Vault. Satine Phoenix is running a Kickstarter for a show like that now. I don't know who Satine Phoenix is, and what's the show? Redcap, there's Delcorn is from Pennsylvania. We are going for a Way of the Long Death Monk, Rycon. In fact, now that we have our Tabaxi traits, in place, it's time to explore the monk. And so we'll put down the basic monk info first, and then we'll go over to the Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide, and we'll look at what being a Way of the Long Death Monk gets. So now we're going to pop open our player... Oh, that's not a player's handbook. This is, though. Monk. Level 12. And mind you, instead of taking ASIs, we rolled that all 3 of them are going to be feats. So if you have feats in mind for her, well, keep them in mind. Level 12. So here we go. This is what we're worried about. Our proficiency bonus is a +4. Our martial arts clause is going to be 1d8. And I'll just put bludgeoning or slashing because, you know, we could retract them if we want. We are a d8 hit die class, and as we're level 12, we coincidentally get 12 of them, so that we can naturally recover between actions, or between events, without having to consume potions or spells. No armor proficiencies, simple weapons, and short swords are her training in weapons. And tools. Choose one type of artisan tools or a musical instrument. Probably... a font of random trivia from the lore and stories you've discovered. You know what? I would say that she's a calligrapher, right? She loves studying the law, writing the law down, carrying it. She can read law, you know, have a law for every conceivable action or inaction. So let's make her a calligrapher. Her saving throws are going to be strength and dexterity. Well, her proficiency in them, I should say. Choose 2 from acrobatics, athletics, history, insight, religion, and stealth. Well, we already have stealth. Let's see. Probably history, if we're talking about someone who is cultured in law. We have insight already. If she's studying as a monk, religion might work, especially if it does involve the concept of death, or if it's involved in, you know, helping people to be better, as that is the goal for all religions. You know, plus she has this obsession. She wants to discover a lost civilization. I think that'd work. Daily, oh, okay. Hey, cool. Hey, yeah, thank you. And please share that. Please do share that on Discord. We are going to also have a currency called key points, which allow us to do some fun monk stuff, and we're going to have 12 of them. What a quinky dink. We're level 12, huh? We're also going to have an unarmored movement speed of an extra 20 feet. So that is going to put our run to 50, making our swim 25. Now, this is something I want to run past you all, because you may do it differently. The Tabaxi entry gives us a fixed climb speed of 20 feet out of the possible 30 that we would normally move. In this case, would you take 2/3 of 50, or would you simply add the 20 feet of bonus movement as a monk to the climb? Or, because climb is listed statically under the Tabaxi entry, yes, she has 50 feet of movement, therefore 25 of swim, but her climb is fixed at 20. Now, I'll say that might not make sense because normally climbing would be half your speed, so it'd have to go up to 25. Still, though, I can see that that purists who argue rules as written would say that it is fixed, and a DM who may have that fixed position could always say, it's fixed, but I'll let you climb stuff you normally couldn't climb with any score as a concession. The extra movement here, your speed increases by 10 feet when you're not wearing armor or wearing a shield or wielding a shield. The bonus increases when you reach certain monk levels. And then at 9th level, you gain the... Oh, actually, this might even be moot. You gain the ability to move along vertical surfaces and across liquids on your turn without falling during the move. But you do have to end... Well, no, this is... Would this make that a moot point? Or am I thinking of something else that says you have to... Is that Step of the Wind? No, that's just the jump. I thought there was something that says you may be able to like vertically climb a wall or across a ceiling or across a lake, but you had to end on fixed ground. That might not be the case then. Oh yeah, it's implied that you must here, right? Or liquids on your turn without falling during the move. So if you're moving, you can travel on these surfaces. So I guess it's nuanced, right? If you're climbing, then you can just keep, as long as you keep on moving, then you can maintain it. But if you're stopping, then you'd have to be on a traditional surface or fall to climbing rules. There might be errata. There could be. In fact, there is. If one of you can take a look for me, that should. It might not be currently. I guess it depends if one was released more recently. But that should be a link to the errata if one of you can take a look at that, at either Tabaxi or monk movement or a reference to climb speed. And bear in mind, though, even this unarmored monk movement, that doesn't make your swim speed, in this case, 50. Because swimming is different than just walking on top of the water. You know, if you want to dive down and we play some 3D&D combat underwater, unless your DM says otherwise, this is just moving across liquids, not necessarily through liquids. Why not talk to your DM, though? maybe he or she will be generous. Yeah, oh, the gift set does have the new stuff in it. Sage Advice mentions unarmored movement was intended to increase a monk's innate speed. A specific... So in that case, Zero, because the Tabaxi lists a fixed 20-foot climb, would we add that 20 feet, and so it would actually go to be a 40-foot climb? Now, again, granted, we're past 9th level, so we could just boop, 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 go up a wall. But where would this interesting interaction take place with a Tabaxi monk? So it may be the bonus, and at that point, too, also, is the bonus even relevant? In some instances, I would say it would be, because, again, we can run across water at our speed, but our swim speed is still half of our movement. So maybe in this case, you know, if we're doing something special like running across or running up a wall or something like that, you know, that goes back to our run speed, but our climb speed would be 40 instead of the 50 if we're actually having to climb and not boop, 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 going up a wall. Yeah, you could stop and cling and look or shout. So yeah, we have to kind of divorce those speeds and concepts. And Silver Pirate has returned. Yar. Ye be back. All right, very good. So we have our speed. We are going to get the use of key to do some cool stuff. Flurry of blows. Patient defense. Step of the wind. And it was key strikes. Or stunning strike. We're going to also have the ability to deflect missiles. By the way, for all of you out there, because we're talking about interesting monk interactions, and if the errata talks about it, would you allow a monk playing in a D&D world with black powder weapons or modern weapons like a shotgun or a rifle? Would you count a bullet as a missile that could be turned around? Or in your opinion, is that for things that move technically, I mean, well, not technically, but that things that move slower like an arrow or a sling bullet instead? I mean, if I'm gonna stir the waters, I might as well just put everything out there. And then, of course, there's people like black powder has no place in D&D. What are you talking about? We can also fall slowly as a 4th level monk. We get an extra attack at 5th level. We have key empowered strikes, and so these are magical if we attack with our martial arts, and therefore most likely claws too. We are going to also get evasion. Stillness of mind. We cannot be charmed or frightened. At 10th level, we get purity of body. So we're immune to disease, and I'm going to put, we have an immunity to poison. There we are. Up here where it says immunities, resistances, and vulnerabilities. And, we're not quite at 13th level yet. So while we can already speak 4 languages, at our next level, we'll get Tongue of the Sun and Moon. And so with our raspy tongue, we can speak and understand all spoken languages. Now, this was just vanilla monk stuff. In order to find out what we're getting from our archetype, right, from our path of study in martial arts, we now are going to go to the Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide to study the Way of the Long Death. What about a laser rifle? I would presume that a light-based weapon would be like magic, and you can't deflect magic. It would have to be a physical object that was thrown or shot at you. Thank you, Daly. Oh, apple cider sounds pretty yummy, Shukun. Silver Pirate, if you're looking for feedback on your roleplay situation, there's an RPG workshop channel on our Discord. Oh, yeah, Zero. That's right. Technically, in Forgotten Realms, black powder doesn't work. Rykon says they can catch bullets, but can't throw them back, and it's a harder DC. Oh, that they can catch bullet, but can't throw them back? Or they can't catch and can't throw them back? Immunity to diseases, that would mean that they can't become a werewolf or a vampire. Depending. With deflect missiles, a monk can try and reduce the damage of a ranged weapon attack no matter what the missile is. Hashtag D&D. Jeremy Crawford on Twitter. So you truly are the bulletproof monk. Got it, Zero. See, we're digging to the bottom of this. We got this. And Silver, I get what you're saying, and I guess it's a matter of, how fast, if you loose an arrow or a crossbow bolt, are we saying that a monk could catch an arrow going 100 miles an hour? Now, of course, you say, well, in baseball, that they throw baseballs at 90, 100 miles per hour, and you can hit it with a bat. People catch those pitches as well, with the balls going that quickly across the field. And so we almost get to what is called the heap paradox. There's another name for it too that sounds more austere. But the heap, H-E-A-P, the heap paradox, at which point if you add 1 grain of sand at a time to a pile, right? You drop one grain of sand or salt, 1 grain, 1 grain, 1 grain. At what point does it become a heap? 3 grains of salt, is that a heap? I'm sure we could all agree, 300,000 grains of sand is a heap of sand. No? Is it more like, 300 pounds of sand is a heap of sand? But surely we can agree that 3 grains of sand isn't a heap. So somewhere between 300 pounds of sand and 3 grains of sand, we reach the point where we're officially at a heap by adding 1 grain of sand at a time. And so I guess the stress test would be, at which point of velocity would a projectile become uncatchable? If we have a monk in a modern setting, could a monk deflect a tomahawk missile? It says missile in the name. And sure, the missile is traveling at supersonic speeds. Could the monk technically deflect it, though? Oh, I'm stirring the pot. I shouldn't be doing this on a Friday night. Yeah, DJ saying, would a falling rock? If a bird flew over a monk and pooped, could the monk deflect the bird poop before it splatted on his head? Now, Daly, you want me to muddy the waters? What if I was using Melf's Minute Meteors, which is a spell that magically conjures these minute meteors, and I flung a meteor at a monk? It is a magic spell, and yet we're describing little physical meteors. Could the monk deflect a Melf's Minute Meteor? Daly says that Matty Morgs confirmed the bird poop was a ranged attack. Now, was that the intention of the? No, I don't. Oh, I'm stirring up a bee's nest here. Is it considered an attack you know, does it have to be a purposeful engagement between two sentient creatures for it to technically be an attack? I'm gonna push my glasses up on the the bridge of my nose here. Daly says it's a ranged spell attack, so no. Okay. Your monk is going to say, but it's a magical rock, and you're flinging a rock at me. Sure, the rock explodes, but I should be able to... But you as a DM have to go, nay, nay. I think a Tomahawk missile has a DC 35. Yes, down the rabbit hole, deeper and deeper. You thought we were here to make characters? No, I'm here to get your blood pressure raised over a fantasy storytelling game. Nah. Happy birthday, Daly. TJ says, well, birds are evil and they think that they're better than us, so they purposefully attack us with their poop. Oh, now we're going for the rule of cool? Why aren't we fighting and stopping being friends? Why are we still friends and talking together like rational human beings? That's not how this is done, people. Also, hi 12-sided guy. If I didn't welcome you earlier, then shame on me. Yeah, how would I judge it? Ask the DM. We call that passing the buck on to someone else. So as a way of the long death, as a way of the long death monk, we're going to get some cool stuff. I'm going to be typing it off to the side, but I'm going to keep the PDF of it open here so you all can read it. We are going to get the Touch of Death. You can extract vitality from another creature as it nears its demise. When you reduce a creature within 5 feet of you to 0 hit points, you gain temporary hit points equal to your wisdom modifier plus your monk level. We also have the Hour of Reaping. 6th level, you gain the ability to unsettle or terrify those around you as an action. For your soul has been touched by the shadow of death. Actually, this works out very well for this character. I'm very happy with how this completely this randomness has occurred. And we're not going to get Touch of the Long Death, but we will get Mastery of Death by 12th level. I mean, we get it at 11th, but Mastery of Death. You use your familiarity with death to escape its grasp. When you are reduced to 0 hit points, you can expend 1 key point, no action required, to have 1 hit point instead. Ooh, you're buying your health back bit by bit. In Pokemon, we kind of call that having a focus sash. Oh, Daily, I'm sure that you've played it cool and you've been in hotter environments. And hey, remember, if any of you ever have conflicts like this at your table, I mean, just stop and say, this is a storytelling game among friends. It's cool that we stop playing and talk about things and not get heated. And also, it never hurts to have your, an opinion challenged. Even if you don't change your mind, but it gives you something to think about. And oftentimes, we talk about getting heated. The hotter the fire, the harder the steel. If you can come out of a very stressful negotiation or a very confusing time where pressure has been applied to you, you will be stronger for it. Having a focus sash or being a Mimikyu, says Redcap. Yes, never pull the because I'm the DM. Yeah, because if you do that and suddenly it turns into an ultimatum, that's the ultimate. We're playing this or we're not. And at that point, especially in a heated environment, people are going to say, fine, I'm not having fun right now anyway. Bye. Okay. We have built, for the most part, the fundamental outline and the details within it for our character. Grew up as an urchin, saved from a life of crime by being put into an institution that instilled the law and morality into her. She has gone on to become this lawful good, if not a young, but a distributor of justice, an informant, an enforcer, someone who maybe works on murder cases, and maybe even is sort of like a special victims unit, where maybe she works for this in Ravnica, the Azorius, but she works for this legal organization or this religious or a little bit of both organization, and maybe she goes out to try and save other people who've been made, other kids who've been made into orphans, because she can relate. She's been around death. You know, that's been her study as well as the law. And so she can talk about it, and she can help recover these kids and bring them into a safe environment like she was. What is next? Oh, we have to give her feats. I mean, we can distribute. I mean, I guess we should distribute her ability scores first, though the feats are also interwoven in there because she's not taking stat bumps. She's taking 3 feats instead. Take a look-see here. I mean, dexterity's probably going to be her number 1 for a multitude of reasons. She is smart, and she has studied because she went to a boarding school. So I'd say a 13 int, 12 charisma, average strength. I mean, she's not physical, but maybe her constitution is low. Do you like this spread? I mean, she's young, yes, but maybe the study of death has sapped something. That's why she does get the touch of death to get these temporary hit points. You know, if it comes time to do so, or you know, by being in this situation, it has made her not as hale and hearty. Now, if you want to switch something around and give her a 12 con and have her charisma be a 9, you know, so she's good at intimidation, but maybe she's not cute and cuddly otherwise. That could be a possibility as well. What do you all think? She does have a Demir contact. That's true also, DJ. For her background, I'd almost want to go low charisma. Sure. Hey, let's have these conversations. So we put charisma at an 8, and that would put her con. Or do you want to put her strength at a 12 and her con at a 10? Oh, the music. Sorry. I turned it off so I could do the happy birthday music box. "12 strength in your mind," says DJ. So 12 strength and 10 con. We can do that. So she's healthy, but she's not super robust. Now, if we apply the racial modifiers, that's a 9 charisma and a 17 dexterity. With that in mind, now we're going to go over, because I don't think Volos has racial feats for Tabaxi. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't believe that they have that. But what we can do is go to the player's handbook and go to chapter 6, customization options, and take a look-see at what would she be. Gotcha, DJ. Thank you for letting me know. You know, would she be alert because she is this investigator? She's someone who is an enforcer of the law. Would she be an athlete? When you're prone, standing up uses only 5 feet of your movement. Climbing doesn't have your speed, although technically as a monk that doesn't anyway. You can make a running long... Well, so monk actually kind of covers a lot of this. We don't have a high enough strength unless we wanted to swap out with intelligence, perhaps, to take something like Grappler. She might grapple people. Observant, alert would make sense. Who, an observant monk? You could read everyone's lips. Oh my goodness. Redcap says Sentinel, best monk feat. You could probably say that her claws simply, like, hold on to the... You know, they dig into the armor, or they might pierce the clothing, offering you to grapple someone without having to pierce their skin. I almost want to say give her mobile, and she's super quick. Sentinel, when you hit a creature with an opportunity attack, the creature's speed becomes 0 for the rest of the turn. Creatures within 5 feet of you provoke opportunity attacks, even if they take the disengage. So she is an arrester. She wants to halt people. And so that could be one way of doing it. Lucky with the cat. Zero, I try to avoid the lucky feat unless absolutely everything about the character says this character just shouldn't exist otherwise. Because lucky is so good, everyone could just take lucky. And so it's a bit of a personal challenge that I try not to give lucky to our generated characters because it's just so universally good that it doesn't necessarily describe a character in and of themselves. And we could play off of the cat feature, but I don't know if that would be strong enough to make an exception in this case. Skulker, she is good at stealth. You can try to hide while you're lightly obscured. When you're hidden from a creature and miss it with a ranged weapon attack, making the attack doesn't reveal your location. You know, we could throw a dart or something. Dim light doesn't impose disadvantage on your perception checks relying on sight, which is extra good for dark vision. Yeah, exactly. So maybe we go... You know, she has this legal authority. If she's someone who is kind of sent in to infiltrate, to investigate, you know, because of her smaller frame, you know, she's younger, so she can get into places otherwise, whether that's getting into trouble or getting into locations. She has someone who is a precognitive mage in her group. She does have a rival who can get things done. I have a friendship with a Demir agent who sometimes funnels me secrets about her own faction. She's obsessed with a lost civilization, and she's a font of random trivia from the lore and stories that she's discovered. I don't know if she needs a dip of magic. Nothing is really... I mean, I guess you could give magic to anyone, but nothing necessarily about her resounds with the ability to cast magic more than what she's trained her body to do as a monk. Sounds like we're making Aisha Clan. Hey, too old to Twitch, welcome. She may or may not be from the Catarl Empire. So Zero's saying keen mind, observant. Daily wants observant, keen mind, and alert. So we're having some overlaps. Observant, skulker, and mobile. Well, I'll tell you what. We are getting a lot of overlap, and all of you made good suggestions. I'm going to go to Daily, our birthday boy, and we're going to give her those feats. Observant, keen mind, and alert. And of course, when I upload this character sheet to Discord on probably Monday, download her and play around with the feats and see if you want to build her in a different sense. All right, so observant, increase intelligence or wisdom. Well, we could top off her intelligence with that. Keen mind, increase intelligence by 1. Oh, so I guess we could. We'll give ourselves. We're staging ourselves next for the next bump of wisdom, I guess. So we have our 1 in intelligence, our 1 in wisdom, and alert. A +5 bonus to initiative. So that is going to give her a 3. That's a +8. You can't be surprised and other creatures don't gain advantage on attack rolls against you as a result of being hidden. That's right, you can't hide. She is the law. And yes, observant is going to give that here. So perception is going to be 4 plus 2 is 6. So instead of being 16, it's actually going to be 21. And Hark, I'm glad you are throwing out these ideas for things that you do in that situation, because look, obviously I can only present one build, but if you all talk about what you would do with this character or other characters you've made, you're getting this idea, this alternate build out there for other people to consider as well. And so, you know, what we're seeing in Digital Ink up here, you know, just because your suggestions may not make it onto a PDF, doesn't mean the ones you put out there don't get other people their noodles boiling. Yeah, that is very crazy. I was enjoying playing up the investigator, I am the law part of the character. That's fine, Daily. And I think it works. I think all of us, even if we have different opinions about the feats, because we could spend an hour picking over it, I think all of these still work. And whether or not someone says, I like 2 of the 3, but I'd replace Keen Mind with Mobile, that still works. She's quick, and now she's even quicker. You know, give her Sentinel instead of Observant or something. These are all great suggestions, and it's showing that you're being passionate about this character. You're thinking about her. You know, you're imagining her in your mind. You know, maybe you're even at the detail of, you see the sparkle in whatever color eyes that you want to give her. You know, you're seeing, you know, does she have big muscles, or does she have a wiry strength? You know, what's her frame? What's her build? Does she have kind of a longer cat face, or is it more stubby, or is she Aisha Clan, and she's really just kind of a cat girl instead of a girl cat? Kind of a flip flop. Is she a Tabaxi in the fact she's a Neko Mimi, and and otherwise she's human? Because hey, you could play a Tabaxi like that. Lithe build, sky blue eyes. Should call her Siri. "21 passive perception, remembers everything she reads, can't be surprised, always knows north, and always knows what time it is. She is the law." And she'll quote law to you all day long. We have a very sassy 15-year-old law enforcement agent here. Or law enforcement officer, Leo. She's a Leo, everyone. All right, she's no longer a set of stats. We can fill in her modifiers. Five and a 1. 7s with 3s in between. Con is a 0. Our intelligence is getting filled in here. Wisdom, 2s down the board, except our proficiencies, which are 6s. And finally, charisma. Intimidation is going to be a 3, so she can intimidate, but she doesn't come across as extremely strong in other social regards. We can call her Omnigo. Look up Omnigo software. She's Batman. Well, I don't think she has Batman's superpower of wealth. Wealth is a superpower. Zero says that fits with the precog mage friend. Hey, well then is that from Minority Report? You think she should be Selena, aka Catwoman? Omnigo Aniles? So there's Selena backwards. Law enforcement officer. Omnigo Aniles. Special Victims Unit. Inspector. Would she be pretentious enough to always have her rank or her affiliation as a part of her name? You know, where she always flashes her badge, you know, Omnigo Aniles, FBI. Aniles? Let's see, her armor class is going to be 15 if she's unarmored. Her current hit points, she's going to get 8 at first level, as that's the hit die. Her remaining 11 levels, we're going to go half plus 1, so that's 5. For all 12 of her levels, she's going to get bonus hit points equal to her con mod, and that's going to be the easy math. So that cancels out as 0. So then we have 55 plus 8, and that's going to be 63. So she has 63 hit points at level 12. With her martial arts, I presume she's going to be attacking off her dex. So she has a plus 7 to hit. And her martial arts is up to a d8, so it's 1d8 plus 3. And then we said she could either have her claws in or out to deal bludgeoning or slashing damage. So 1d8 plus 3 bludgeoning or slashing, that counts as magical because so too is she. Now, it's not a spell technically, but to resist her key effects, it would be as a spell cast off of Wisdom. And so that would be a plus 6 if we were to make a key attack that's not riding on top of a normal attack. Although it's probably just more accurate to say instead of this, we should just list the difficulty class to resist, which would be 14 because you always add 8. I haven't seen anything that was different. You add 8 to whatever your attack bonus is to make a save against some effect. And of course, you know, if we gave her a short sword, she'd use the finesse property, and it'd be like the martial arts. So I'm not gonna worry and wiggle over, you know, does she take 4 darts or a short bow or something along those lines? Because we can always give those to her. Nothing to worry about here on these later pages. We have a pretty straightforward character here. Silver, you don't think that money or being rich is a superpower? I'd like to introduce you to Bruce Wayne, the Green Arrow. I'd like to introduce you to Tony Stark. Who else can I introduce you to that proves that money is a superpower? She doesn't have the experience to be humble? She's a prodigy child who's managed this at such a young age, and now she's smarter than everyone else in the room, and even if they're higher in her feats, make her smarter than most. All of this, yeah, she'll use her rank and not let people forget it. Her rival, and again, this is in Ravnican context, but we can make it into whatever other society we want to build. Her rival in the department or whatever. I know a homunculus in the guild halls of New Prov who can get things done behind the scenes. So while she's out hitting the streets, her rival is trying to solve cases before she can by, you know, doing the computer work. Enhance. And of course, they got those one big eyes, so they can keep zooming in until they catch the reflection of the killer on the screw holding the license plate into the bumper of the third car parked 20 feet away from the low-quality cell phone cam selfie that someone was taking on a busy street in a big city. Yeah, Disney's superpower is money. The King of Wakanda was also granted superpowers, says Redcap. And he's very rich. I mean, there's magic flowers, too, but... All right, we have our 5th character. She'd be fun. If any of you out there draw, I mean, whether or not you think you're a good drawer, this sassy feline here, this sassy Tabaxi, you know, kind of the Doogie Howser equivalent of law enforcement. This would be a fun sketch to make. Your superpower is sleeping, says Redcap. There we go. Rank, name, title. And that is how she'll present herself as she flashes her badge. And when she does, her claws, like, she'll hold it out normally, and then you just see her claws, like, kind of slip out just to enforce, you know, don't mess with me. I'm 15 and I know everything. All right, everyone. Yeah, sleep is quite the superpower, huh? Why don't we get up and take about a 10-minute break, stretch, do what you gotta do. When we come back, I'm going to show Daly the 2 boxes we opened for him last night. Then we have some miniature boxes to pop. And after that, well, we'll see. If we have enough time, or I don't know, if we just want to take it easy, we could go right into, we could just play some Secret of Mana together. We could talk about other things. Or if you want to see how a character map is made that links all 5 of our characters now together, then we could do that too. But let's take a little break. Let's get the miniatures done for those who have generously supported them, and then we'll go from there. It's a Friday night. We have birthdays. We have folks that are new here and watching or subscribing. Awesome, vibrant conversation. You know, we got trees. We got squirrels. We'll bless them all.